Howdy y'all, this is John from 4C Farms. Today we were going to put a set of Adelies in the back of this pickup over here, but my camera lost most of the footage, so that's gone. It's already done, it's too late. Good news is, got a wheel seal leaking, so we can fix that. Let's get to it. You can see all this greasy smear. She's leaking, not too bad. Let's start off by getting this axle out. Silicone. All right. Delicious looking. I need more rags. Alright, so once you get the axle out, you can see the spindle nut here. And if you look, the last guy, or two guys, or every guy that's ever messed with this, didn't have the right socket for it, and they used a chisel, and that's okay. But once you use a chisel on it, you're pretty well destined to use a chisel on it from now on. Now this here, the little ear sticking up, that's the retainer. There's two nuts here, this nut, then the retainer, and then another nut back behind that. And the way this works is you screw this outside nut on, that locks it, and then you fold one of these little ears on this retainer over to hold the nut. That way nothing comes loose while you're going down the road, because you don't want that. So what we got to do here is get something, unfold this little ear on this retainer, and another one if there's more than one did, and unscrew this nut, slide the retainer off, unscrew the inside nut, outer bearing loose, and we can just pull this whole hub and drum and everything off so we can replace the seal. Got the little ear. You know, if I was smart, I'd have went and got a pick. Well, that worked out okay. Little retainer's in good shape. Whenever you take these off, always make sure this little ear in the middle is in good shape if you plan on reusing it. If that little ear is gone, this thing won't do nothing. Ooh. That shouldn't be so tight. Would you believe I had the right socket? Something kind of like the right socket anyways. Very perfect. Brakes are oil soaked. here's our issue right here. This seal is no good. I don't know why it's no good, but it's no good. And you can see all the oil in the drum on the brakes. So we'll have to get all that cleaned up, drive a new seal in it, check our seal wear surface back here, and put it back together. Let's see. It looks pretty good, I think. It's just a seal failure. Who knows? Anyways, let's get this all cleaned up and get a new seal in it and go from there. So it occurred to me that a few of you might be wondering, well, how do you get this seal and inner bearing out? Well, that's real simple. There's nothing to it. This is a mild steel Chinesium drift. You just stick it down in here, get it on that inner race of that bearing, and beat it out with a hammer. Now, I've heard people say that you can't hit on a bearing race with a steel drift. Well, those bearing races are really hard, and I'm going to go as far as to say that if you can so much as put a scratch on your bearing races with a mild steel drift, you really need to buy better bearings, because if you do, the ones you've got are crap. Anyhow, let's get this drove out of here. Bearing in yonder. Yeah, I don't know what happened to our seal there. Oh well. Alright, let's clean up this drum and these brakes and put her back together. Alright, we got this all cleaned up, or at least as cleaned up as we're going to get it. Put our inside bearing back in. Put a race in, not a race, but our seal. I like to pack the backs of these seals in with a little dab of grease to help hold that spring in, and then rub a thin layer of grease on the sealing surface just to help keep it lubed up while we first start driving. Let's see if I can gingerly tap this in with my highly professional seal installing tool here. If you ever get it straight, it's nice to have the right tool to install those with, but if you don't have it, just peck around real gentle all the way around it, drive it in even, and don't ding it, and you'll be okay. Sure we don't have any little globs of silicone or anything in our bearing. Outer, here's our inner. Get something to tighten that up with. As we all know, you need a 3/4 ratchet to adjust wheel bearings on a Dana 60. Oh yeah, that's tight. Alright, so tighten it all the way up, rotate the hub, tighten it up, rotate the hub, tighten it up, try to back it off without rotating the hub. See, we've got it loose. Just run it back up snug. So, tighten the nut, rotate the hub, tighten the nut, rotate the hub, and just keep doing that until you can't hardly turn the hub. Back the nut off without rotating the hub. And what that does is it sets all your bearings in good. That way your adjustment is right. Then once you get the nut back off, you just run it back down until it touches, and that's good. Yeah. This was all sealed up with silicone before. I think I'm going to seal it back up with silicone again. Let's put it on the axle. I like that better. Way too much. That's not. There, that's good on the splines. All right, there's the last one. Well, these things don't have to be, oh my God, tight. It helps if you run them in the right way. And just for good measure, oh yeah, just wipe the silicone off and then just smear it around there. That helped. Sure, that looks spectacular. That's going to be an edit. John might have missed a step, or 2, or 5. Ah, we're cooking. Okay. Well, I figure we ought to check the oil in the rear end, see how much we lost. Goodness, who put that in? Oh wait, that was me. Have I got to be a weenie? Wow. Push it that way. Yeah, I guess we ought to pump a little in there. Alright, now make sure our vent tube's not plugged. There's why we blew out the wheel seal. Vent tube's plugged. Do her every time. There was the problem. Well, there you have it. Not too bad a job. Anytime you got an axle leaking, always be sure and check that vent tube, because those seals just can't tolerate much pressure. And if that vent tube's plugged, when that axle heats up a little, it'll make some pressure in there and it'll blow them out every time. We got it took care of, and I'm just glad that I remembered to check the vent tube. She ought to be good to go now. I'm really sorry that my camera messed up and we couldn't do the add a leaf video. I'm just not going to take it apart to do it again. I love y'all, but I'm just not. We got the parts for this tractor ordered. They're coming, or at least some of the parts. So hopefully we can, that tractor. Hopefully we can get back to that before too long. We're going to be working on that round baler before too terribly long. I got a lot of stuff going on. We're just getting at it as we can. If y'all like the video, please hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell. I think that gives you some notifications as when I do post a video. I'm gonna try to get back on getting these a little more often. Anyhow, I sure appreciate it. Y'all have a blessed day.